Welcome back, everybody, for another deep dive. This time, we're tackling visibility marketing.
Oh, a good one.
Yeah. We're going to be drawing insights from David Avrin's book, appropriately titled Visibility Marketing.
Makes sense.
And it's a super relevant topic, especially now. I mean, it seems like it's not enough to just be good at what you do anymore.
Oh, absolutely. The
Yes.
market's just saturated. Like everyone is doing good work.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So Avrin, he actually says something kind of bold in the beginning of his book. He says, most businesses could, like, vanish, and the marketplace would barely even notice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It is a bit harsh when you first hear it,
It is.
But I think it really underlines the challenge, the reality of the situation we're all facing.
Yeah, it is a wake-up call.
For sure.
So, okay, if how do you become that go-to, that obvious choice?
Right.
Like, that's what we're going to be exploring in this deep dive, how to cut through all that noise.
Yeah. And Avrin makes a really interesting comparison to the 2008 recession.
Oh, okay.
He says the businesses that actually did well, that thrived during that difficult time, weren't the biggest, weren't the most well-known.
Right.
They were the ones that were able to adapt, be flexible, become leaner, more efficient. He kind of suggests that we're in a similar period now. Things change so quickly.
Yeah, always changing.
If you're complacent, you're going to get left behind.
Yeah. So it's about being proactive,
Yeah.
anticipating those changes,
Right.
constantly evolving.
Yeah, I got to stay ahead.
There's another layer to this, too.
Yeah.
Avrin talks about online transparency. Everything's out in the open these days, and how that changes everything. What are your thoughts on that?
Oh, it's massive. Online transparency, it's a good thing and a challenging thing.
Mm.
I mean, think about it. If a business is doing poorly, you're going to know about it immediately, right?
Yeah.
Online reviews, social media, all that stuff. There's no hiding anymore.
That's true.
And that level of scrutiny, it can be really intimidating.
For sure.
But it also underlines, again, the importance of delivering on your promises every single time.
Right. So
Yeah.
kind of like it makes you think twice when you're leaving that, 3-star review or whatever, because, yeah, that's out there forever.
It is.
Yeah.
But it also empowers the customer in a big way.
Right.
Businesses are held accountable.
So it kind of circles back to this idea of, okay, everyone's good.
Right.
What do you do to stand out? How do you make yourself visible?
Yeah. How do you become exceptional,
Right.
not just competent?
And so Avrin actually has this framework. He calls it the visibility quadrant, where he talks about, different categories of businesses.
Yeah.
He's got, the heroes, the villains, the invisibles, and the dismissables. So, where do you fall? What do you think?
Well, the first step is definitely self-awareness, right? Honest self-assessment. But more importantly, how do you transition? How do you move from one quadrant to a better one?
Yeah.
And when we talk about heroes, he uses this great example of Nordstrom. They're known for their incredible customer service.
Oh, yeah.
It's not just talk, though.
Right.
They actually empower their employees to create those legendary experiences.
I love this story about Nordstrom accepting the return of tires.
I know, right?
They don't even sell tires.
Exactly. And that's what makes it so powerful. They went above and beyond, totally unexpected.
It's commitment.
Totally. And it reinforces their brand promise in a really memorable way.
Yeah.
But the key takeaway for me is, how they actually empower their employees.
Right.
It's not just words. It's built into their policies and procedures.
It's not just talk.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's something every business can learn from, I think.
Walk the walk.
Exactly. Don't just talk the talk. Another example he gives is Hampton Inn, They addressed a very specific customer concern, cleanliness,
Right.
with their duvet cover policy, that little yellow sticker to show that everything's been freshly cleaned.
It's like a seal of approval.
It is. And it might seem small, but it speaks directly to a real customer concern.
It's the little things.
It is. And it differentiates them from all the other hotels.
Yeah, makes them stand out.
Totally. This is a perfect example of what Avrin calls the WTV factor. What's the value?
Right.
Every feature, every service you offer, it needs to have tangible, demonstrable value for the customer.
It's got to solve a problem or meet a need.
Exactly. It can't just be a cool thing.
Right. It's got to be useful.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've talked about standing out, being remarkable. But how do you communicate all that effectively?
Right. That's the next challenge.
How do you market it in a way that actually resonates?
Because it's not just about singing your own praises.
Right.
Avrin is really clear about that.
Okay. So what does he suggest?
He uses this analogy. He says, marketing without a clear goal is like peeing in your pants.
Oh, okay.
Uh,
All right. Where's he going with this?
It's definitely memorable, right?
Hmm.
He's quoting his old boss who said, it gives you a warm feeling for a little while, but then it just gets cold and nasty.
I see, I see. You got to have a plan.
Exactly. You need a strategy. You got to be focused on the outcome.
You can't just spray and pray.
No, no, no. You got to focus on the behaviors that lead to sales,
Yeah.
not just shouting about how great you are.
So what's a good example of that?
Take Geico. They don't actually sell insurance in their ads.
Right.
They sell the idea of a quick quote,
Yeah.
which is the behavior that leads to someone actually getting insurance.
It's brilliant.
Right. They're marketing a behavior, not a product.
Yeah.
Smart.
So it's about really understanding the customer journey. Right.
Yes.
And guiding them towards that final outcome that you want.
Exactly. And in my business, we use a lot of video. It allows people to experience what we do firsthand,
Right.
which is so much more impactful than just like reading bullet points on a website.
Yes, show, don't tell.
Right. Exactly.
So that's a good example. That's a great example. And it kind of taps into this idea of sampling, right?
Yeah.
Giving people a little taste to reduce the risk, build that trust.
Totally. Like free trials, consultations.
Yeah,
Even IKEA, think about it. Their whole store is a giant sample.
it's true.
It's an experience.
So it's about letting people kind of dip their toes in the water before they commit.
Exactly. Reduce that barrier to entry. But let's be honest, businesses need to make money, right?
Oh, yes.
Can't just be giving everything away.
Right, right. So this leads us to a concept that Avrin calls the most profitable sales and marketing tactic, upselling. What do you think about that?
Upselling, it can be a great thing,
Yeah.
but it needs to be done like ethically, strategically, you know.
Right.
It's got to be about creating genuine value.
Okay, so what's the difference between good upselling and, like, the bad kind?
Think about those airlines, you know? They're charging you for everything these days.
Right.
What used to be included is now an extra fee.
Is nickel and diming.
Totally.
Yeah.
And it just leaves people feeling resentful.
Yeah, it's a bad experience.
Right. So effective upselling is about exceeding expectations, creating real value.
Go
You
ahead.
know, like those buy one, get one free deals or second set free, just pay shipping.
Right.
It frames it as a bonus,
Yeah.
not like you're being squeezed for more money.
It's all about psychology, right?
Yeah, perception is everything. Or subscription services, you know,
Mhm.
freemium models.
Yeah, those are popular.
Right.
Hmm.
They offer those tiered versions to keep customers engaged and spending more over time.
Right.
But those higher tiers need to offer real benefits. It
Right.
can't just be a way to get back the features that should have been included in the first place.
Right, you got to add value.
Exactly.
Don't just take away and then charge to give it back.
Make the customer feel like they're getting a great deal,
Yeah.
not just paying to get back to where they should have been all along.
Right. So it's about building that trust, building a relationship, not just a transaction.
Exactly. And that brings us to another crucial point. Brand promises. All this marketing, Sari, is useless if you don't actually deliver.
Oh, for sure. You got to walk the walk. What happens when you break those promises? What's the cost?
Well, for one, trust is eroded.
Hmm.
Customers feel let down and they're more likely to go elsewhere. Remember that Little Caesars pizza portal thing?
Oh, yeah.
They decided to shut down the portal early one night, even though people had placed orders.
Hmm.
I mean, yeah, it might seem like a small thing, but these little things add up.
Right.
They linger in people's minds.
No, these are bad taste.
And then you have those really big examples like the Volkswagen emissions scandal, where a company violates its brand promise on a massive scale. The damage is huge.
Right. So it's worth taking a moment to reflect. What is your brand promise? Are you living up to it every single day?
Good question.
How can you make it easy for customers to do business with you? Remove those friction points.
Because if it's a hassle, they'll find someone else who makes it easy.
Right. And that's the reality. You need to make it easy for customers to choose you.
Yeah.
And that brings us to the how-to, the practicalities of getting your message out there.
Yeah. How do you actually become visible?
Right. It's not just about being online. It's about being in the right places at the right time,
For sure.
tailored to your specific audience.
Absolutely.
Huh.
And one strategy Avrin highlights is strategic partnerships, the hub and spoke model.
Oh, tell me more about that.
So you're the hub, right?
Yeah.
And your partners are the spokes, helping you reach a wider audience that actually fits with what you're doing.
Okay, yeah.
Like we talked about earlier, Hydro Flask sending those free bottles to journalists.
Right.
Smart way to get in front of the right people.
Right, get in front of outdoorsy people, people who are already interested in that kind of product.
Exactly. But it goes beyond just freebies. It's about creating value for both sides.
Okay, so give me an example.
Let's say you're a financial advisor who wants to reach entrepreneurs. You could connect with a popular business blog
Yeah.
and offer to write a guest post about, financial planning for startups.
So you're providing valuable content for their audience.
Exactly. And at the same time, you're positioning yourself as an expert.
Right, right.
Or if you're a chef with a new cookbook, maybe you partner with a food blogger and offer an exclusive recipe or a cooking demo.
Win-win.
Exactly.
So it's about thinking creatively, finding those synergies.
For sure.
Another key piece of visibility marketing is content marketing. But it's got to be good content,
Yeah.
right? Not just pushing your products.
Oh, absolutely. People are bombarded with ads constantly. They're looking for something valuable, something helpful.
Right.
So think about the challenges your audience faces. Create content that solves their problems, answers their questions.
It's about being a resource.
Exactly. Establish yourself as a trusted authority, not just another company trying to sell them something.
Right, right. And once you have that great content, it's time to leverage the power of social media.
Oh, for sure. Social media can be a game changer.
But, there's a right way and a wrong way to do social media. You can't just blast out sales pitches all day.
Absolutely not. It's about building community, engaging authentically.
Right. Avrin really stresses authenticity, doesn't he?
He does. People can smell a fake a mile away, especially online.
For sure.
You got to be genuine.
Okay, so what are some of the do's and don'ts of social media?
Well, for one, don't overshare.
Okay.
You can overwhelm people and actually turn them off.
Right.
It's a delicate balance. Provide value without bombarding them.
Right, right. Social media is definitely powerful, but it needs to be used strategically.
Mm.
And we all know social media is constantly changing, right? Like, what's the latest on that?
Well, one platform that's seen a big shift is LinkedIn. It started as this professional networking site, but now it's like this powerful search engine for businesses, a platform for sharing really valuable content.
Right.
So it's important to stay informed, see what works, what doesn't.
Right, but one thing that stayed constant is the importance of building relationships.
Oh, for sure. That's what it all comes down to, human connection.
Right, right. Now, one mistake I see businesses make is thinking that social media can replace traditional marketing. What are your thoughts on that?
I agree with Avrin. Social media, it's more of an amplifier. It can take what you're already doing and make it even stronger.
Okay, yeah. So give me an example of that.
Well, think about Facebook. It lets you connect with people on a more personal level. You can share those behind-the-scenes glimpses of your business.
Okay.
Run contests, build a community around your brand.
It's about creating a multifaceted approach.
Exactly. Social media is just one piece of the puzzle. You need a holistic marketing strategy.
Online and offline. Okay, so how about we switch gears a bit and talk about events?
Okay. Yeah.
Events are another really powerful way to stand out, to make a splash. What are your thoughts on that?
Oh, events can be incredibly effective. Avrin, he talks about this Cupid's Undie Run.
With what?
Yeah, it's a charity run where people run in their underwear.
Okay.
It's unconventional, definitely,
For sure.
but it generates a ton of buzz, gets people talking.
It's memorable.
Right.
It's not your typical 5K.
And that's the point. It showcases their personality in a unique way.
Right, right.
It's a great example of using an event to create a truly memorable experience for your audience.
Right. Speaking of unique experiences, Avrin also talks about crowdsourcing. Like Doritos, how they used crowdsourcing to create those Super Bowl commercials.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
It generated so much excitement, got people involved, aspiring filmmakers, everyone.
And they got a ton of fresh, creative content out of it.
Exactly. It's a win-win.
You get great content and you get the audience involved. Yeah.
And speaking of engaging content, we can't forget about video.
Ah, video. It's everywhere these days.
It's essential for visibility in today's world.
Right. It's so visual.
Think about how much video you consume every day. YouTube, Facebook, even TikTok.
Right, right. So you got to be where your audience is.
Exactly.
But just like with social media, there's a right way and a wrong way to do video.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
What are your thoughts on that?
Well, it's got to be engaging, informative, provide value to the viewer.
So what are some good examples of that?
Think about showcasing your expertise. offering tutorials, giving people a behind-the-scenes look at your business.
Yeah, I love those explainer videos.
Me too.
The ones that like break down a complex concept in a really simple, engaging way.
They can be really effective.
Grab people's attention, help them understand what you do.
Educate and entertain at the same time.
Right, right. Now, before we move on, we can't forget about the foundation of any good online presence. The website,
Ah, yes, the website.
your digital storefront.
Exactly.
It's got to make a good first impression
For sure.
and be easy to use.
And Avrin is all about simplicity.
Right.
The website needs to be user-friendly, provide a seamless experience.
Yeah, people are impatient online.
Oh, totally. They'll bounce if they can't find what they're looking for quickly.
Right. And he compares a bad website to voicemail hell.
Oh, yeah.
Those endless phone menus that drive you crazy,
We've all been there.
clicking through 5 different pages just to find a simple contact number. Infuriating.
Right. A bad website is the digital version of that. He actually suggests taking a cue from Google.
Okay.
Their homepage, it's like the epitome of simplicity. Clean, focused. It gives you what you want right away.
Yeah, it's true. And they are the most visited website in the world, so they must be onto something.
Right. Their success boils down to understanding what people want.
Right, and meeting that need quickly.
Exactly. What are people searching for? What questions do they have? Can you answer them clearly and efficiently?
So it's about anticipating the user journey and removing those points of friction.
Yeah, make it smooth, make it intuitive.
And if you can do that, you're well on your way to turning those visitors into loyal customers.
Absolutely. Happy customers, happy business.
Exactly. So we've covered a lot of ground already. We talked about standing out, being remarkable, crafting a strong brand promise,
Right.
building a user-friendly website.
Yeah,
But there's so much more to explore in the world of visibility marketing.
there is
We're just getting started.
so much more to uncover.
So we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back to dive even deeper into this fascinating topic.
So before the break, we were talking about websites.
Yeah, making sure they're user-friendly.
It's crazy how many businesses get this wrong.
I know, right?
Yeah.
You put all this effort into building a website,
Yeah,
but then if people can't use it,
right.
it's like, what's the point?
Avrin actually compares it to, like, voicemail hell,
Oh, yeah.
all those endless menus.
Oh, I
Ah.
hate that.
Yeah, you're just clicking and clicking.
5 pages deep just to find a phone number?
Exactly, a bad website. It's the digital version of that.
Yeah.
He says take a look at Google,
Go on.
their homepage. It's so simple.
It's true.
Clean, focused, gives you what you need right away.
It's effective.
And they're the most visited website in the world.
Yeah, they must be doing something right.
They understand user intent.
Right.
What are people looking for? What questions do they have? Can you answer those questions quickly and efficiently?
So it's about anticipating those needs, making it smooth.
Exactly. Remove those friction points, those pain points.
And if you can create that seamless experience,
Yeah.
people are going to stick around.
Absolutely. They'll become customers, happy customers.
All right, so let's talk about getting your message out there,
Okay.
using other people's platforms.
Yeah, leveraging those existing audiences.
Right. We talked about Hydro Flasks sending out those free bottles to journalists.
Right.
That was smart.
It was.
But it goes beyond just free stuff.
Oh, for sure.
You got to provide real value.
Absolutely.
So what are some other ways to do that?
Let's say you're a financial advisor, right?
Oh,
And you want to reach entrepreneurs.
makes sense.
You could approach a business blog.
Yeah.
Offer to write a guest post about financial planning for startups.
Oh, that's good.
Right? You're giving them valuable content.
Yeah.
And you're positioning yourself as the expert.
Win-win.
Exactly. Or let's say you're a chef.
Okay.
You wrote a new cookbook.
Yeah.
Reach out to a food blogger.
Makes sense.
Offer an exclusive recipe, a cooking demo.
It's all about those partnerships.
It is finding those win-win scenarios.
All right, so let's shift gears a bit and talk about something super important, but it's often overlooked.
What's that?
Internal marketing.
Ah, yes, your employees.
They're your biggest asset.
Absolutely, your brand ambassadors.
They're the ones interacting with your customers every single day.
Right.
If they're not engaged, if they're not passionate about your brand, it's going to show.
It will, and Avrin talks about creating a strong company culture
Yeah.
where everyone feels valued, everyone understands the mission,
So it's about creating that sense of shared purpose,
right? Empowering your employees.
giving them the tools to succeed.
Think about the best customer service experience you've ever had.
Okay.
Chances are you encountered an employee who genuinely cared.
Right, they were invested.
They went above and beyond because they believed in what they were doing.
Right, and that energy, it's contagious.
It is. It rubs off on the customer.
It makes a difference.
Happy employees, happy customers.
All right, so speaking of engagement, let's talk about storytelling.
Oh, yes, the power of narrative.
Stories are powerful.
They capture our attention, they stay with us.
Avrin's a big believer in using stories to connect with people on an emotional level.
Right, because stories, they're more memorable than just facts and figures.
Think about those iconic brand stories like Apple, Nike,
Yeah.
Google.
Yeah, they all have these powerful stories.
They resonate because they tap into our values, our aspirations.
Exactly. So, what are the stories you can tell about your brand?
Yeah, what's your story?
Maybe it's the founder's journey, maybe it's a customer's experience.
Something that shows who you are.
Be authentic, be relatable.
People connect with that.
Hey, they do.
They want the human side of the brand.
And remember, visibility marketing, it's a journey.
It's not a one-time thing
Right. You got to keep at it, adapt as things change.
because the market's always evolving.
Always. And your audience is changing too.
So you got to stay informed, try new things.
Avrin calls it a test and learn mentality.
I like that.
Try it out, see what works, adjust as you go.
Be flexible.
Exactly. And be a good listener.
What do you mean?
Pay attention to what your customers are saying.
Oh, yeah, their feedback.
What are their pain points? What are they excited about?
Right.
Read industry publications, go to conferences, engage online.
Stay informed.
The more you know, the better decisions you'll make.
Okay, so let's talk about personal branding.
Ah, yes, especially in today's digital world.
It's become so important, especially for entrepreneurs, business leaders,
It's about establishing yourself as an expert.
building that credibility.
Think about Gary Vaynerchuk, Oprah.
Yeah, big names.
They've built these huge personal brands.
And it amplifies everything they do.
Exactly. So how do you build a strong personal brand?
Yeah, what's the secret?
Start by identifying your strengths, your values.
What makes you unique?
What are you passionate about? What do you want to be known for?
And then create content that showcases that expertise.
Right. Share your insights on social media, write blog posts.
Maybe even start a podcast.
Exactly. And be consistent, be authentic.
People can spot a fake.
They can. And don't be afraid to show your personality.
Yeah, people connect with people.
They do not faceless corporations.
Right, and one of the most powerful ways to build a personal brand is through public speaking.
Yes, getting out there, sharing your knowledge.
Speaking engagements can really boost your visibility.
They can establish you as a thought leader.
Think about TED Talks. They've become this platform for sharing ideas.
Inspiring people.
But public speaking doesn't have to be this big, scary thing.
No, start small.
Local events, industry gatherings,
Practice, focus on delivering value.
and then use social media to promote those speaking engagements.
Yeah, get the word out.
All right, so let's talk about something that can be a little uncomfortable for some people.
What's that?
Self-promotion.
Ah, yes. Tooting your own horn?
It can feel awkward.
It can, but in today's world, you got to do it.
You got to advocate for yourself, for your business.
Avrin says, shift your mindset from selling to helping.
Okay, that's interesting.
Think about the value you bring, the problems you solve.
Focus on the benefits.
Exactly, and don't be afraid to share your accomplishments.
Awards, testimonials.
It's not bragging, it's social proof.
It builds credibility.
And networking, super important.
Yeah, getting out there, meeting people.
Go to industry events, join online communities.
Build relationships.
Focus on giving value.
Right, you never know where a conversation might lead.
Could be a new partnership, a referral.
And speaking of referrals, word-of-mouth marketing is so powerful.
It is your happy customers or your best advocates.
Encourage them to share their experiences.
Offer incentives for referrals, make it easy for them.
Online reviews are huge, too.
Absolutely encourage customers to leave reviews on Google, Yelp.
Positive reviews can make a big difference.
They can.
So as we wrap up this part of our discussion,
Yeah.
I want to emphasize persistence, consistency.
Visibility marketing, it's not a quick fix.
It takes time, it takes effort.
It does, but the rewards are worth it.
Don't get discouraged.
Keep going, try new things, adapt as you learn.
And never stop learning, never stop growing.
The world of marketing is always changing.
So stay curious, stay open to new ideas.
Now let's take a short break and we'll come back to wrap up our discussion on visibility marketing.
Welcome back to our final segment on visibility marketing. It's been a great discussion so far.
It has. We've covered a lot, from those big picture trends to really practical tips and strategies.
Yeah, exactly. And before we wrap up, I want to touch on a point that Avrin brings up throughout the book. The challenge of information overload.
Oh, yeah.
It's a real problem. I
Right.
mean, for businesses, for consumers, we're bombarded with messages
Yeah.
constantly.
Every direction.
Yeah, social media, email, ads.
It's overwhelming.
It really is.
Yeah.
So how do you, cut through all that noise?
Right. How do you make sure your message actually gets heard? Avrin, he borrows this term from Seth Godin. Remarkable.
Oh, I like that.
It's about being worthy of remark, being something that people can't help but talk about.
So it's not enough to just be good anymore. You got to be remarkable.
Exactly. You got to be memorable. You got to give people something to talk about.
So it's worth taking a moment to think about that. What makes your business remarkable?
Yeah. What sets you apart? What makes you different in a way that people will remember?
And once you have those answers,
Yeah.
you got to communicate them effectively.
Right.
Because in a world where everyone's shouting, sometimes a whisper can be the most powerful way to get heard.
It's true.
It's about creating that sense of intrigue, leaving people wanting more.
Exactly. Make them curious.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave you with a challenge. Think about how you can make your business more remarkable.
Yeah. What can you do to stand out?
How can you create a brand that people will remember, that they'll recommend to others?
Because at the end of the day, you want to be the obvious choice.
The go-to solution.
Exactly.
And remember, it's a journey. Visibility marketing, it's not a one-time fix. It takes effort.
You got to be willing to adapt, try new things, never stop learning.
The market's always changing. Your audience is changing.
So still curious. Embrace those new ideas.
And if you put in the work, the rewards are there.
Yeah.
You can build a brand that's not just visible, but unforgettable, one that really stands the test of time.
Absolutely. It's worth it.
So that's it for our deep dive into visibility marketing.
Hope you enjoyed it.
We hope you found it valuable. We hope it gave you some things to think about.
And we hope you'll join us again for our next deep dive. Until then, keep learning, keep growing, and keep striving to make your business remarkable.
And we'll see you next time.